Hi, good afternoon. I know I missed Monday again. It was a holiday and a lot of crazy stuff. I just returned back to work after being sick with pneumonia back in July, and it's been a long ride, but I'm finally healthy enough to go back to work without any restrictions, and I'm excited as well as thrilled to be able to do so. So today's my first day off since Thursday that I've had an opportunity to go ahead and create a video for Motivational Mondays. However, it's Wednesday. I apologize for that, but today I kind of wanted to talk about something that kind of came up at work because I work for a big box store, home improvement store in Florida here. And one of the things that I find myself really focusing on and having to deal with, not on a daily basis, but a frequent basis, because the world's full of a bunch of people that tend to believe the world should revolve around them and that 100% the customer is always right regardless. And I know a lot of companies have this philosophy, and to a certain extent, I believe it's true. However, there's some things that can be done. I mean, the situation may be that they need it corrected, but how the customer handles it should always be respectful, but isn't always respectful. And in my years of customer service and sales, I've really found some of the best things to do when working with people that are challenging or bringing at you in your face attitude. You've got to, you're going to, this is what you're going to do for me. And, throwing the F bombs and the curse words and everything out at you, is to just accept it, listen, nod, look them in the eye, be very respectful, low key body language, know this while you're listening, or hand on the hip, or attitude, watch the eye rolls, make eye contact with them, neutral face, nod, I understand, little short bits and pieces of information acknowledging. Once they're done venting and saying, hey, absolutely, I understand what's transpired here, and just to make sure, repeat the situation. I understand and I appreciate you sharing this information and your experience with us, and you're definitely right. It should not have gone that way. I understand, because I wouldn't feel right if it happened like that to me. We're going to go ahead and work with you and find out, well, a resolution. And it's best, I found, when you're dealing with a resolution, to be able to give them a couple of options. So they may be demanding, like I said, you're going to do this, but to say, hey, this is what I've got for you. We can do A, or we can go with B, or we can go with C. Which would you prefer? Most often, they're going to feel that they're in control because they've got a choice of three options versus you saying, this is what we're going to do. A lot of people don't like to be pigeonholed or pushed into that. Most people like to have a choice or a decision or an option. Obviously, you have to make sure they're viable options. But giving an option and letting them choose is a lot of times the best way when it's a difficult situation. And the most important thing is I've always said, and I didn't by any means invent this saying, but kill them with kindness. The meaner and nastier a person is to you, the more respectful and polite you should be. That's going to calm them down at some point, and they're going to stop and realize how silly and stupid they sound yelling at somebody who's, yes ma'am, yes sir, I completely understand, I appreciate your thoughts on that, I appreciate your business, I want to thank you for bringing this to my attention. Phrases like that, it's really hard to stay mad at somebody when they're being super sweet and super nice, and it's going to calm them down. Avoid saying calm down, relax, chill. You don't have to be like this. Be respectful. That kind of stuff just fuels the fire and makes it worse. So, and then, like I said, I had an incident this weekend at the store that somebody was just over the top crazy, but I was able to calm them down and put them in their place, give them an option that was satisfactory. It wasn't what they wanted, but it was a satisfactory resolution, and they understood it was more than fair. I went over and beyond, but I didn't give them the farm. They got a cow instead of the whole farm. But anyway, it's just important to kill with kindness and be appreciative and respectful, even when somebody is being mean or nasty or rude. You can't blame them. They weren't mad at me. They were mad at their situation, and that was the way they wanted to share and vent it. It was wrong of them to feel that way, in my opinion, and present it to me because I didn't do it to them. But again, I have to appreciate that and understand that they were upset. And that's something we all need to think about. And again, remember, walk a mile in a man's moccasins to understand how their life is. So let them vent, talk to them, treat them like a human being, be very respectful, appreciate where they come from, give a choice as to a resolution, and thank them for their business and bringing it to you and sharing it to you, and let them know that you'll be happy to make sure we implement practices to avoid this kind of thing in the future. And this can be applied in a business sense and or a personal sense in everybody's daily life when you're dealing with a unrealistic expectation of someone or someone who's being nasty and unruly. I really don't know where else to go with this, but I just kind of felt that it was necessary to share because we have a world full of Karens now, and it's important that we all work with them, and instead of fueling them and getting into a fight with them and egging them on, just be passive and kind and, understand that, they're not perfect and by no means are you. And, maybe they had a bad day. Like I said, walk a while in a man's moccasins to figure out where they're coming from and appreciate, where they're coming from. It's all a matter of perspective. But as always, it's important to get yourself uncomfortable and get out there and grow. Have a great day.